Hello and welcome to the Carbon Copy podcast Running Out of Time special, which today focuses on the West Yorkshire town of Castleford in the borough of Wakefield. The climate relay reached Castleford on Thursday lunchtime, making visits to the historic Queen's Mill and to the local secondary school Castleford Academy. This is the 5th episode in our special series as the official podcast host for Running Out of Time. If you've missed the first 4, do go back and catch up and subscribe now to hear the next ones as soon as they land. Our first chat today is with Adam Savage of Wakefield Council, who tells us about the work they're doing to tackle climate change across the district.
My name's Adam Savage. I'm a climate change project manager for Wakefield Council. We're here today in Castleford at the Queen's Mill, which is one of the stops on the Running Out of Time climate relay. We'll be going from here in the relay to Castleford Academy, and from Castleford Academy I will then be cycling from there over to Manchester, to Staley Bridge in Manchester for the next day of the relay. So yeah, taking the baton over by bike. Yeah, we've got a fairly small climate change team within the council. I think there's about 8 of us, and our role is to put projects and plans in place to help the council meet its net zero targets. So the council has set a target to become a net zero organisation by 2030, and a goal for the wider Wakefield district as a whole to become net zero by 2038. And our role within the council is to put a programme of work in place that works towards achieving that, and how we can use the influence that the council has to try and help other organisations and residents around the district to reduce their carbon footprint and look at the carbon emissions of their businesses and organisations, and how we can all work together to achieve those net zero targets. So the council has published a climate change action plan, and within that it's broken up into different work streams. So we currently have 6 work streams. They look at different areas. The first 5 are internal areas within the council, so things like our buildings that we own and run. Work stream 2, for example, looks at our fleet of vehicles, and within that we've got projects, for example, where we are replacing fleet vehicles with electric vehicles to reduce the carbon emissions associated with those vehicles. There are other aspects within the climate change action plan that look at all sorts of different ways that the council can move towards its net zero target. And then workstream 6 looks at the wider district, so how we can work together with residents and organisations around the district. One of the aspects of workstream 6 that we have is our net zero partnership. So that's a partnership that we're in the process of setting up and developing, which asks organisations from businesses, third sector organisations around the district to come together to kind of look at how we can all work together, what learning we can take from each other to reach the kind of net zero target of 2038. I've always been personally interested and passionate about the climate crisis and environmentalism, and yeah, my wife and I, we also have a business that we run in the village where we live. It's called in Skelmanthorpe, which is near Huddersfield. We have a refill store called Grow Refill Store, and that's somewhere that we sell unpackaged dry goods, things like cereals, pasta, rice, that sort of thing, herbs and spices, and people can bring their own containers to refill, with an aim of reducing plastic packaging. And it's about trying to kind of show people what can be done, small steps that can help reduce your impact on the environment. And we have a slogan which is small sustainable changes. And I think that for me the important thing that people understand is that we don't need a handful of people doing things perfectly. We need everybody to take small steps to all help. And if everyone can, if we just had everyone in the village where we live came and just did one refill with us, just refilled their rice or their pasta, for example, that would have a huge impact, even if it was just one thing each. So we really want to focus on that. And for me, that side of that of the environmental message is that sometimes it can feel a bit hopeless, and how do we enact these massive changes that are required in systemic changes in government, but really we all have the power to make small sustainable changes. And I think that's the thing that I would encourage everyone to do, to look at. If you, for example, if switching to an entirely plant-based diet seems like a big step, something that you can't manage, well, what can you do? Can you just maybe reduce the amount of meat or dairy that you consume? And if everyone just does a small amount, if everyone just takes a step in the right direction, then we've got a huge number of people all taking a small step. It all adds up to a big change, hopefully. That's what I would want people to do.
Absolutely, those little changes do really add up, and the impact is even greater if we make those changes by working together. At Carbon Copy, we're all about sharing stories to inspire more collaborative local action for climate and nature. If you're looking for ways to make a difference where you live, check out our story collection for 1,000 examples to give you ideas. The link is in the show notes. Back to Castleford now, where we also had the opportunity to learn about the amazing regeneration work taking place at Queen's Mill, which hosted a visit for the relay team and runners on Thursday afternoon. Here's CEO Lorna Malkin talking to our producer Brad.
I'm Lorna Malkin, I'm the Chief Executive of Castleford Heritage Trust, and we own and run Queen's Mill, which is where we are today, on the opposite banks of the River Aire. I've worked for the Heritage Trust for 21 years now, and we started as just a very small community group, wanting to really use the heritage and culture of the town to bring about regeneration, both physical and social, really. The town was very much depressed after the loss of the pits in the 80s. It's got a rich heritage and culture, and we wanted to use that to inspire people and make people proud to be from Castleford. In 2013, we were lucky enough to be able to purchase Queen's Mill for the community, and we've spent the last 11 years creating a real community hub, a very vibrant hub. We have the community coming in, using the spaces. We run workshops and events, but we also have 10 small businesses based within the building. So yeah, lots going on, and a great riverside location in the town. So we have a range of activities. We have a number of groups who use the space. So we have different art groups. We have an archaeology group. We have Andy's Man Club use the space, the Talking Newspaper. So it's a real variety of community access. We also have a lottery-funded Reaching Communities project at the moment. So that's enabling us to deliver workshops and events for the community. So we do lots of arts and crafts, we do writing courses, but we go out to events as well and promote what we're doing. So that's quite a broad variety. We have a tea shop, tea rooms, we have a coffee roasters, a bar, plus other businesses. So it's a real hub, a real vibrant hub for community in the town. When the Heritage Trust formed, the idea really was to create a new museum for the town and a community building where the community could meet and learn and socialise. Because of the funding climate and other priorities, that never really happened in the way we would have liked it to have happened. But actually what the mill has enabled us to do is achieve all those ambitions that we originally started with, over 20 years ago. So I think it has had a huge impact. When the mill closed down in 2011, people were saying to us, oh, you've got to save the mill. We don't want it to be demolished. We don't want it to be turned into apartments. You've got to save the mill. So it's one of the few heritage buildings in the town, really. Castleford's got this huge history, but there's not much in the town left to see. So for us, it was really important to save it as a building, but also then to make it work for the community and to have it as a resource for the community. We have thousands of people visiting here. So it has become very much a part of the life of the town. And across generations, from, cradle to grave, really, we have people coming to the building.
So tell me about some of the things that you're doing at the mill to try and be more sustainable.
Yeah, so the fish pass just behind me here, that was installed in around 2006-07 as part of a project that we delivered in partnership with the Environment Agency and Wakefield Council. It was funded by the Heritage Lottery Fund to restore some of the natural biodiversity along the riverside. The main part of the project was the fish pass to enable fish to get upstream. It has been successful. We know that fish are using that, and it shows that fish are in the river. The heating that we had initially was very demanding on power, so we've looked at reducing that significantly. We've put in the LED lighting. We were lucky to get some solar panels through the Coalfields Regeneration Trust a number of years ago now, and we've had funding from the Better Neighbourhoods Fund earlier this year to install more solar panels. So on our building, which we call the boathouse, we'll be putting panels covering half of that space. Obviously, we've got ambitions to do much more on the solar panel line. We've got other spaces on the roofs, which will be really, got a lot of potential for that. So, but as a charity, we don't have money sat there. So, it's all about grant income, really. So it's waiting for the opportunities to come along where we can, get more of that. So today the climate relay is coming to the mill. So we're really delighted that they're stopping at Queen's Mill. Obviously the relay is only coming to Castleford within the Wakefield district. So we're one of just 2 venues that will be hosting the relay. We're welcoming runners around lunchtime. So they're going to come to us. They're going to see some of the work we've been doing at the mill. We're also going to ask them to officially open the new bike storage shed with the cycle forum. We've got one of our artists in residence who's working on a project with us called Know Your Neighbourhood to come and talk to people about their feelings about the river and the green infrastructure in the town, just to raise people's awareness of what we have around us and the need to care for that, really. I think what inspires me is being based next to this beautiful river. Not that long ago, it was very polluted. There would be foam coming off the weir, going up into the town, which was from the chemicals, from the textile mills further up the river. There was no life in the river. The town turned its back on it. It didn't want to acknowledge it even had a river. When you see the river today, it's clean, there's wildlife in it. We could do more, there's lots of litter comes down the river, but it's in such a different place. And I think it just shows what can be done with the will to do that. And seeing that every day really inspires you to sort of keep going and do more, really.
What a lovely message. With so much in the news at the moment about pollution in our waterways, it's great to hear that in Castleford at least, things have improved. To end this episode, we wanted to catch up with Adam again as he finished his epic ride across from Castleford to Staley Bridge on the outskirts of Manchester on Thursday evening. Here he is chatting to the relay team after a pretty soggy journey.
I'm here with Adam from Wakefield Council and he's done just over 75 kilometres. So how do you feel?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's great. Really feels good to be a part of the relay. I've really enjoyed being involved. It was tough though.
Yeah, as you say.
There was a bit up over the top, just past Marsden, where it was pouring with rain and it was blowing a gale and got pretty soaked and pretty wet and it was muddy and slippery.
Yeah, you can see your legs, no one's going to see this, but your legs are covered in mud.
Yeah,
and you're a little bit wet when you get off the bike.
Pretty soaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was good. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the challenge of it. And it was good fun.
Yeah, and on that, was it what you expect? Because you were there for the school visits after the mill, and then you've done obviously the whole distance. Yeah, what was it like?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I thought it was great to see kind of the different parts of it. Really good to see all the kids at the school at Castleford Academy getting involved. I think it's brilliant that the relay's getting young people involved. They always seem so passionate about climate change issues, and I think it's brilliant that they can all help to kind of raise the profile of the issue.
Well, we hope that the weather stays a little bit drier for the runners, wheelers, cyclists and other participants for the rest of the relay. Thanks to Adam and to Lorna for sharing their stories with us for this episode, and thanks to you for listening. The Carbon Copy podcast is written and presented by me, Isabel Sparrow. The producer and editor is Bradley Ingham. We'll be back tomorrow with a special schools-focused episode from Manchester. Until then, goodbye.